that way.
Where all has this film been showcased so far, and the kind of accolade that's gathered?
This film has also been part of the, like the other two films, this film has also been part of the Indian Animation Retrospective. It's been shown in France, it's been shown in Japan, in North America, pretty much Montreal Festival, Toronto Festival, maybe more than 20 festivals all over the world.
And how many awards has it won?
This one also has won quite a few awards. To be honest, Tanvi, we lost count of it.
Well, clearly a very poignant tale of how children are exploited in India, particularly in lock and cracker factories. We'll take a break on that note. We've been discussing 3 short animated films with 2 very accomplished directors from the Indian animation space. What we will do after the break is discuss the sector at large, that's the Indian animation industry, how it has evolved over the last decade, and what does the future hold for the space. That and more in just a bit. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still watching Through the Looking Glass right here on CNBC TV 18. And our special guests, 2 very acclaimed directors from the Indian animation space, Mr. Bhimsain and Mr. Kireet Khurana, are right here in our studios to talk about the sector now. We've discussed their 3 highly acclaimed movies, but really the sector and how it has evolved over the last decade. A little bit more about that is what we will be discussing. Mr. Bhimsain, let's start off with you. So you're a legend. Everybody knows you. Everybody remembers Ek Chidiya. From that time to now, it's been almost 3 decades. The industry has evolved. New platforms have been introduced. How has it changed? Today, Ek Chidiya is on YouTube. It's on the internet. There are blogs written on it. There is so much popularity that that piece of art has gathered. How do you react to the evolution of this industry, and did you see it coming?
Actually, I see this phenomenal liking about that particular film is that it touched the people at that age who are very young, and this nostalgic kind of appreciation which I am getting these days, it is brightens my heart. That is one thing. But at the same time, I feel sorry that if I knew that this is going to be so popular, I should have worked more harder on it.
In fact, sir, on to that point about how you never really anticipated the success of the movie right now. It's, we were discussing that a little while back as to how greatness can never be anticipated. In a great piece of art, you can never really predict how well it does till it actually wins the accolades and the acclaim of the masses and the audience at large.
Actually, the appreciation from the masses is one thing, and the piece of art is another thing. Piece of art, is basically, creating some new grounds of the media that way. But getting appreciation, for example, Jai Santoshi Ma gets so much appreciation from the public. You cannot say that it is a piece of art. So I don't combine the two.
But aren't you happy that today there's so many people?
I am very happy. I'm happy because my effort has reached somewhere. That is it. But I don't say it is a great piece of art. I'm just underlining that. It is not a great film as a great film, but well, it touched the people. For that, I am really happy about it, and I thank them.
And do you see the evolution of the sector in today's time and age in India? Where do you see the future really of the Indian animation industry?
Future of animation is basically communication. If we communicate to the heart, well, definitely yes. If, for example, you were saying that our films, locked or flash, or the trade, it did not, could not be released all over and all that. But we did not do any effort to release Ek Anek Ekta and all that, and it has been liked by people all over the world. So that kind of things can happen. It cannot be designed that way.
What are the next projects that you're working on at this point in time? I believe you're doing a movie with Ajay Devgan, Tunpur Ka Superhero. Tell us more about that.
It's called Ajay and Kajol, and they are playing husband and wife in the film, and it's a live action and animation combined movie, something like a Roger Rabbit or a Space Jam. And well, it's a 2-hour movie, and kids are going to love it.
Have there been more production houses that have approached you with projects on animation?
Actually, it is happening day by day, you know.
Yeah.
It is
More than
happening.
100 features have been announced right now. Animation features have been announced.
Even Karan Johar and Govind Nalani, who
Everybody's
never
making
touched animation, but now they want to make film because they are disillusioned by the success of Hanuman. Just see, things are happening.
Do you think the resources are in place in India? Because we've had a lot of international animation films do very well. Shrek, of course, being a case in point, a huge global hit, that movie. You think, and even The Incredibles for another example, you think the resources are in place, the infrastructure is placed to support such
to produce such movies?
Yeah.
What I believe is that for the past 15 years or so, India has been doing a lot of outsourcing projects for international companies. Some not so great, but of late, India has acquired the critical mass to actually move big projects forward. Now it has become unviable for a lot of companies in the West to hire Indian companies as service providers, and therefore we have all the animators with us, and big animation companies are also focusing on building Indian animation intellectual properties or creating their own movies so that they can be a part of the business as opposed to just being a service provider. So the interpretation here is that first we've built critical mass through outsourcing jobs, and now we're producing our own movies, and I think that's a fantastic way to go. You build the infrastructure with service providing, and then you go up the value chain using your resources, your manpower and your infrastructure, and create your own movies, tell your own stories.
But what in terms of the nature of the audience, the mindset of the audience, don't you see that also has changed quite remarkably over the last few decades, and people have become more accepting to different genre of filmmaking?
It is in fact moving very, very much forward. With each film coming from the West, for example, you mentioned Shrek, you know. Shrek has broken many, records that way. And now recently I saw that panda thing.
Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda. I was floored by that. I really wished that I would have made such kind of film.
So when are we seeing your version of Kung Fu Panda on the screen?
Realistically speaking, there'll be some time, because Kung Fu Panda probably is made about $120 million budget. And we're still in the $10 million budget right now.
So we have a few more years.
Yeah, we have a few more years. India has a few more years before the global market opens up.
No regrets, because we have done our might, and we see, there is a saying by writer Prem Chand, if you remember, that ये दुनिया जो तुम्हें जहाँ मिली है इसे आगे बढ़ाकर आने वाले लोगों को सौंप दो.
Lay the foundation.
Yes, and we have done our might, and now it is the next generation to take it forward and then pass it on to the next one.
And that's the endeavor?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Mr. Bhimsain,
Thank you.
Kireet, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate the time that you took to speak to us on not just your 3 films, but also on the Indian animation industry. It's a very exciting space and growing at a very fast pace. So we look forward for most projects coming to the table from your side. Thanks very much for joining us once again. With that, of course, it's a wrap on this edition of Through the Looking Glass. If you have any films or any suggestions to make about the show, do write into us at the following address. From the entire team, for now, thanks so much for watching.